everybody. This is Hurdy with the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network, and we are talking to one of my friends out in California tonight. Listen, we're going to be with Tim here in a few minutes. We're going to be talking about some marketing, branding, visibility, promotion. He's got a lot of great questions that I'm going to field with him tonight. But before we get to Tim, just want to let everybody know that this podcast will be up on the group page at the Hurdy Burke Broadcast Network. If you haven't joined that Facebook page yet, just type in Hurdy, H-U-R-D-I-E. Last name is Burke, B-U-R-K, Broadcast Network, and I'll add you to that group. I also want to thank our 2015 exclusive sponsor, CPR Cell Phone Repair, located right here in Round Rock, Texas at La Frontera. They can just about fix anything, but I want you to go visit their website at cellphonerepair.com. That's cellphonerepair.com. Go over and meet the owners. You have cracked screens, water damage, iPads, Samsung pads, you name it. If it's a device, they can fix it. Thank you, CPR Cell Phone Repair in Round Rock, for being our exclusive sponsor. Tim, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks, Hurdy. It's good to talk with you.
How are things now? I know you're out in California. What part of California are you in?
I'm smack right between Sacramento and Tahoe in a little town called El Dorado Hills.
God, that just sounds too cool to be true. That sounds fun, actually.
It's beautiful, my friend, beautiful.
I bet. Well, let me tell you all a little bit about Tim, then we'll have some questions for him. He's a dedicated husband and father. He has, and this is, I didn't even know this till I read this, 5 children, correct?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
They keep me on my toes.
You think? You staying young, right, that's for sure. They're grounded and focused, and you know, you really like to focus on things that matter. Faith and relationships are fuel that gives you the winning advantage, and you have over 20 years experience, and you have a lot of passion for business and nonprofit, and especially the nonprofit, which we're going to be focusing on, I guess, a lot tonight. Right, Tim?
Yeah, a little bit of both, yes.
Okay. You hold degrees in leadership as well as business. You really like to work. You've done multiple thriving ventures, Northern California, Central Texas. You have a broad knowledge in the nonprofit arena, which really gives you an edge. You're good at team building and strategic planning and can really help companies grow. Did I miss anything?
No, that I couldn't have wrote it better myself, my friend.
But you might have been able to say it better. I'm just kidding with you. Well, I consider you a friend, and I know we chat a lot on the phone, so that's really cool. And I know we have a lot of the same desires to help people. So what kind of inspired you, Tim, to start Giver Marketing? And I love the name, by the way.
Yes, yeah. The name came really from thinking through, you know, what name would reflect the philosophy of the company, because there's a million marketing companies out there, but they all have to, they're kind of like a mechanic. They have to have a specialty. And so I wanted to make it very clear just through the name that Giver Marketing is one of those companies that it's a full-service marketing firm, but it really has an emphasis on helping businesses highlight their giving activity, their giving back aspects of their business. There's kind of stories behind why the name came about, but really ultimately when it comes down to it, I was inspired by other people giving out of their business philosophy to be able to be generous to folks in their community.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if it's one of those kind of names you come up with where you've been thinking about it, then you wake up in the middle of the night and you go, I got it, Giver Marketing, right? So it's amazing how we think.
Yeah.
Is that how it happened? Yep. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I love the next way you phrased your question, and I don't think I've ever said it this way. I love that give back promise. Tell us more a little bit about what that means.
Well, many years ago, I experimented with some business concepts that really I started putting my money where my mouth was. I encouraged other people to start giving back to their community. I was part of a business venture, and we decided to give back to a particular family that was dealing with cancer. and we dedicated 10% of our proceeds, our profits, to that company for a period of time. And what happened next was just so surprising. Our sales just went through the roof. The family got blessed with a portion of the proceeds. Somebody offered to match the donation. Before you knew it, there was a viral marketing campaign all over social media, and I couldn't stop the phone calls from coming in because we basically just kind of put our philosophy front and center and said, well, whether people want to or not, want to purchase from us or not, this is kind of our philosophy. So we ended up going ahead and giving 10% of all of our proceeds from Giver Marketing to a nonprofit or a charity of the client's choice.
Oh, that's cool.
So basically what happens if a client calls us and says, hey, we want to work with you, we would like to give to, let's say, for example, Boys and Girls Club of America or Red Cross or some other organization, I say, well, let's do it. And I cut a check for 10% back. We start kind of connecting with those organizations, and it becomes kind of a win-win-win for everybody.
Absolutely, and what a good thing to do, when a business is committed to helping their own clients, right, give back to charity of their choice, that really bonds a relationship, which I love that, give back promise. I think that's a cool phrase. I know you kind of got that branded somehow, but I love that phrase. Really quickly, before we get to the next question, Tim, we're going to link your website on the Custom Player, but could you go ahead and give us your website right now?
The website is givermarketing.com. So it's GIVER marketing.com.
That's awesome. And if you hadn't seen that site yet, folks, go check it out. It's really cool. He's got a great intro video on it. You can subscribe to his YouTube channel and everything else, but I'll tell you what, it's a good video. Tim, good job on that video, by the way, since I'm in that business. I think I told you that the other day, but I really like it. You did a good job on it. You're really easy going on camera. I wish you would put some of that mojo on me, okay? So,
hey, part of that was inspired by you, Herdy, and I know that you're a big fan of that. So.
Well, thank you, but I'm better behind it, not in front of it. How's that, okay?
All right.
All right, so you have, let's get you to explain your 3 keys to marketing campaigns. Could you mention those and briefly get into those a little bit with us?
Well, I touch on them more specifically in that video you just mentioned, but they're just 3 pillars that I can't get away from. They're basically branding, visibility, and promotion. And if a company is missing any one of those 3, well, you and I both know they're in trouble.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So
right.
Basically, that's what I evaluate when I consult with a company, and I give a 1-hour free consultation, either over the phone or in person. And basically, when I'm talking about branding, it's very, very basic. It's something people recognize. It's an image, a picture, a design, maybe even a phrase that creates some kind of emotional connection to your potential client. Briefly going through it, visibility it sounds pretty obvious, but if you don't have a high-rise building right in the middle of, Sacramento, California, or Austin, Texas, or, wherever you are, you need to be online everywhere. I mean, just able to be found quickly. I like to give people the 10-second challenge and say, hey, can you find your own company online without typing in your website?
Exactly. Good job.
Or your own company name, for that matter. You got to be able to find people now without memorizing their name.
Yeah, and I would say, Tim, on that right there, a lot of people don't realize nobody basically today searches for a company name. They search for a service or product, right? So you've got to make yourself visible in the right ways.
Exactly, and 89% of people go online before making a buying decision. So, I mean, if you're not online, you're basically invisible.
Right, and you know what? A lot of people confuse branding with marketing, don't they?
Yeah, or they confuse branding with a logo, or branding with or you just got to be branded, and it's like, yeah, that's the beginning stage, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. So what's your approach? How do you, how do people, I guess your question is worded that, and let me just read it as it is, who typically benefits most from your approach? I like that question. That's an interesting question, Tim.
Well, the reason I wanted to have a conversation about that is because basically, you know, I have a target market, you have a target market, every company out there has a target market, but I'm into results. And so if a company or an organization, it could be a church, it could be a company with a philanthropic edge to them. We've all heard of like Tom's Shoes, kind of a socialpreneur type company, buy one, give one kind of approach.
Yep.
These kind of organizations that are already giving, those are the people that I like to work with, because all I do, it makes my job easy. I just capture what they're already doing and then incorporate that into a very focused marketing campaign towards clients that would be, well, extremely loyal by the time it's all said and done.
Absolutely, and the idea that companies build themselves by doing something in the nonprofit arena or giving back is huge, and a lot of people are drawn to that in business, right? When these businesses decide that they're going to contribute back to their community, if it's local or if it's a big organization, doesn't matter. People are really drawn to companies that give back something, correct?
Exactly. Entrepreneur.com says 82% of people consider social good of your company when making a buying decision. So if 82% of people care about it, well, me as a marketing guy, a marketing company, a marketing firm offering all different avenues of marketing services, I'm sure going to care about it.
Right. And I guess that you're working on or have some marketing packages. Do you want to dive into those a little bit and kind of give us an overview of some of your packages you offer some of your clients?
Well, the way I explain my packages, and I know we had some conversation over that, you know, you were consulting with me a little bit even on this recently, is that my packages, we have a la carte services that we offer just like every other company does, but in order to effectively communicate to a target market for a small company, we have packages starting as low as $9.95. So under $1,000, you can effectively communicate to your target market.
And that's awesome, because that's right in the crosshairs for a small business, right? That's generally about where they're capped at, right?
Well, that's a great starting point. Yeah, because if they can put aside, you know, 10% of their first year's revenue or their profits for a marketing campaign, as they kind of get going and get moving and get fuel in the engine, golly, if that $1,000 can produce several $1,000s of revenue, then they're on their way.
Sure, or you can go in, I guess you can do this, Tim, I know you do this, you could also help them redistribute money that's being wasted on the wrong types of things that they're marketing on and branding on, correct?
Oh, yeah, I just consulted with a nonprofit that was sending out, nothing against postcards. I mean, I can help people, you know, design postcards, and that's fine. It works for some companies, but they were doing postcards several times a year, you know, and they found out that only 1 month out of the year it was actually working.
So there you go, right?
So there it is. There's your couple $1,000s right there. Yeah. So
right.
It just,
right. So
it just depends on who you are, what you're doing. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if they're already spending money and they're wasting it somewhere by helping them see the light, right? That is getting into the arena where people are. I've got a question I want to throw into you that's not on here. We know this mobile market's getting huge, right? And so many people, the millenniums, even now, even staggering over some into our age demographic, this mobile growth is crazy, right? I mean, people are searching for everything on their mobile phone, everything.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, anybody who's Google Plus certified knows that Google's made some changes, and if you're not mobile, you're basically kind of being kicked to the side, and you're a second-class citizen now. I mean, nothing negative to say about Google, but that's just what they're making. That's their business decision. If everybody's using mobile phones, then that's where they want to be. It's just a smart decision for them.
Right, and I know that that's true because Google recently made that big announcement several months ago that your site had to be mobile friendly, right, in order for it to be found in search results. And so I had to alert several clients, right, you need to make sure that you get that mobile site in the right position or it's going to hurt you. So, yeah, there's some rules out there. Hey, so what kind of results, Tim, can clients expect? And I mean, I know that's a loaded question, meaning there's probably results in certain arenas of packages, but what overall expectations should clients, be looking for?
Well, there's always the disclaimer, like, it depends on your business, your industry, your budget, and all these different kinds of things. You have to be consistent with your marketing campaigns. Otherwise, you're going to see a very limited result. But our goal is probably a better way for me to answer that question. Our goal is really 5 to 10 times return on investment over the long term.
Sure.
I don't look at short term. It maybe for some quick analytics and just kind of makes pivots and makes some moves on the marketing side. But long term, consistency, what's working, that's the main question I ask people when I first talk to them is, tell me what's working. I want to know the ethos of your company, who's referring you, what's working. When people do refer your business to somebody, how are they finding you online? Does it confirm what they're saying? Does it confuse them? And then we begin building a strategy that hopefully is going to have a multiple return.
Right, and I'm sure that in this process, when you're working with the client and you're starting to get started with them, I'm pretty sure, I know I do this, and I'm sure you do, is look, I tell my clients, I'm in this for the long term with you. I'm not into this, we go a couple months and you quit. This is a team effort on both our parts, and it's going to take E for effort on both sides of the fence to make this work, and you're going to have to stick with the program. Do you kind of let clients know, hey, we need to make this set and really focus on making this a little bit long term?
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint, but you can definitely learn through your training and through making adjustments to make that training more effective for your marathon. It's just one of those things where the reason many businesses are closed by the time year 5 hits is because they haven't stuck to a strategy and hit it hard.
Yeah, and they rely on old traditional types of methods that may have worked in the past that just do not fit in the strategies today. Hey, so in this noisy marketing, we live in, there's a lot of options, right? And so another pretty good question you have here is, so how do these companies pick strategies that work, right? We're in this noisy marketing. We want to raise above that noise. So what's our strategy, Tim?
Well, the way I answer that question, and I get it all the time, is I worked for a large marketing firm for a while, and I had impeccable training and got up to speed on the most recent, changes and shifts and things happening in marketing. Even though I had been in the business world since 1993, after consulting and coaching thousands of these companies through just their basic web presence, I just began asking them questions like, what's working. You can't assume that all your business is coming from referrals only. When somebody tells me, 95% of my business comes from referrals, I'm gonna say, yeah, mine does too. But what happens when you hand somebody a business card and say, hey, call my buddy Tim or call my buddy Herdy? He'll produce a great video for you. What's the first thing they do? And at the same time, they're bringing you up online to see if you're a kook or if you're,
Oh, absolutely. Good companies. Yeah, you're right. Good companies are going to go out and look and see what your reputation is online, and that's fantastic. I love that. That's what I do. You're right.
So that's basically kind of how I, strategize with a company. I give them a 1-hour consultation. I begin asking them questions about what's working, what's not working, what's the philosophy behind your business, what kind of giving back are you doing in the community, and if, quite frankly, if they're trying a little bit of everything, my job is to help them focus.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I call it the quicksand, Tim. That initial period you go through with the business when you're helping them get out of the quicksand, right? Slow, tedious, but very
Exactly right.
effective way. I'm serious, I say, look, we're going to be in quicksand for about 3 months, seriously. We've got to figure this out together, make changes as we go, figure out what's working, what's not working, because a lot of these things that we do, right, are brand new concepts for a lot of these small businesses.
Yeah, some of them are, but some of them have a pretty good track record now. I mean, when was the internet born?
They do.
We have some staples that we can see if matches up with industry standards, and then my philosophy is 80% of what's working and then 20% of new innovation kind of
There you
stuff.
go.
So.
That's great, man. Okay, so what resources and service? I know we've kind of covered this a little bit. What types of resources and services do you have available? What? I guess that's another pretty general question. You might have covered some of that.
Well, I know you and I both really love video because we know that when it comes right down to it, YouTube being the second most used search engine in the world, right behind their parent company, right?
Right. Google.
So number 1 and 2 are all, they're all in the same boat together. So
Sure.
everything's going video. Anytime you have text going more than a certain amount of characters or letters or words, you're losing people. So video combined with some good content is something that I can provide. We can do everything from kind of the organic videos to just HD, highly professional.
Yeah, you can do
videos.
studio type commercial stuff or the handheld pocket camera cool stuff for YouTube too, right? There's a whole gamut of cool things you can do. You want to hear a cool stat?
Yep.
You're 53 times more likely to be found if you have a video on the home page of your website as opposed to the companies that do not.
I love it. I thought I saw that somewhere on
it's posted. It's out there.
One of your posts or something, but even the organic videos, like you and I both love those. I mean, I just did one for a dance studio a couple of weeks ago, and they're just thrilled at that. No, everything from the videos to search engine optimization, which is SEO, of course, social media. Really,
right.
we're a full service marketing firm, Purdy, when it comes right down to it.
And I know that. I just want to get it out here on this podcast, right? I know that you got the marketing experience, and I know you do a lot of things for a lot of folks. And again, me and you are so much alike in what we do. It's almost like a mere conversation, right? I mean, when we had our talk the other day on the phone, we were laughing about stuff going, so what are you doing on that? And what are you doing on this? And I go, well, Tim, I'm doing this. And what are you doing on that? We're helping each other. That's great. Hey, so how do you connect? How do people connect with you? What's the best way to find you? Now, I'm going to be putting links on your custom player, but how do you want people to contact you, Tim?
Well, just remember that I can be found online. Google search me, whether it's a phrase that you've heard today, my name, Tim Morgan, Marketing in Sacramento, Marketing with a Generous Twist is my tagline, givermarketing.com is my website. Whatever sticks in your mind, but ultimately, just call me directly at 916-919-1601. And if you're listening to this right now, just call or text that number, and I'll get right back to you.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'm going to put that number up on a billboard within that custom player so people can have it there right in front of them, okay?
Oh, that'll be good.
Now, listen, we have gone very fast tonight. The goal is to get a lot of information out very quickly to, our listening audience on this podcast. I think we covered a lot, but here's my final question for you tonight, Tim. What did I miss?
Hey, you know what? I think the bottom line is as a business, we have to consider giving as a marketing strategy. And also, I have some free resources at givermarketing.com/resources. You'll see a 6-question marketing review on there. It's just very basic. Takes about 5 minutes. And I get an instant, results from that review. And I can send you some follow-up questions to the email if that's necessary. But that tool is available to you at, no charge, no cost, no obligation, but it's right there on the website.
Right, and we'll direct them to that through your custom player. So, hey, as a good friend and a buddy that we talk, a lot, and it's good to see that you're rolling right along. And I really do appreciate talking to you, as you well know. And like I said, I had a blast tonight bouncing information off each other. That was really fun, and it helps us all, doesn't it? Isn't it cool to collaborate rather than be competitive?
Yep. It's great to have
that.
someone in another city with a similar philosophy. It's just good to know we're not alone, brother.
That's right. Well, listen, thank you for being on tonight, and I'll have this podcast up for you later tonight. You'll get links and embed code to do whatever you want with it. I want to thank my sponsor, CPR Cell Phone Repair, located in Round Rock at cellphonerepair.com. Tim, thank you. I want you to have a great evening, my friend, and let's make sure we're talking all the time, okay? Let's stay in touch and have some fun, and glad you're on. And have a good night.
Sure.
We'll see you guys next Tuesday night, okay, around the corner at 7 p.m. on the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody.